Are you ready to start your holiday shopping? I've started mine months ago.
Apparently you already got my gift.
I got it.
But not online. It's definitely an exciting time, and it's important, though, to talk about the dangers of identity theft and overspending.
John Holt is the president and CEO of Nutmeg State Financial Credit Union. He's sharing some helpful information. John, always good to see you.
Good to see you.
I just heard about the security breach with Macy's yesterday. Their stock plummeted 10% because apparently people's credit cards got exposed back in October.
Yeah.
This is a terrible thing. You know, you got to try and protect yourself as much as you can.
Yeah, and you know, it's unfortunate because that is where the mobile apps, believe it or not, where you can make payments through your mobile device, and then like the Apple Pay as an example, or Samsung Pay, those devices and the way of doing that actually protects you more because there's added layers of security.
Isn't that okay? Yeah.
Because they don't store the information in, you know, the retailer can't store it, and
Right.
it creates a token and then deletes it. So if people are comfortable with that, I highly recommend that.
That's good advice.
So let's go step by step. So we're
Sure.
talking about what we should be aware of when we're shopping online, because identity theft is a huge thing now. I feel like no matter what we do, the hackers are one step ahead, and you have some points because it could actually happen to anyone.
Yeah, and 43% of all identity theft and hacking takes place around the holidays when everyone's spending the most. So what we try to make sure you do is when you're going online shopping and you're putting that address in there, Amazon.com,
Right.
HTTPS, make sure it's green, and make sure you're going on trusted websites. That is one way of knowing that.
Okay, so HTTPS.
Yeah.
I've never even looked for that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
every
And
now
usually
and then,
you don't
yeah.
have to do that, because
Right.
usually if you type in, you know, like Amazon.com, it'll already filter that and it'll turn green. So if it's red, it's an unsecured site, so you want to stay away
So
from that.
I didn't know the difference between a secure and an unsecure site, and how would I know that? That's
Yeah.
great. Okay, that's good information right there.
So those are some of the types of websites, and also we have to make sure that we're going to only provide our information on secure sites. So normally, if we're shopping at the big retailers, you're buying something online at, I don't know, Nordstrom, Macy's, although Macy's just had this breach, should we feel safe?
I think you are safe, and then, you know, there's always those precautions too that we highly recommend when you're shopping online or even in a store. Make sure you sign up for alerts with your financial institution, so when you're spending that money, you get an alert. Make sure you look at your statements. If you
I look at my statement every day.
and it's important.
Even if I didn't do anything the day before, I just want to go on there and make sure that nobody's charged anything, and that my savings, you know, the money that I have in my account is still the same.
Yeah, and you want to look for small amounts too, because that's where they'll test. And
Like
then
a dollar, and you're thinking, oh, I don't know, maybe
And you
maybe
kinda
that's
skip
something,
over
or
it.
maybe that's an iTunes, maybe it's
Right.
something. But you know, you've got another some points up here that we should. A lot of us are doing online shopping, and we
Yeah.
should use a separate email for online shopping, which I actually do mostly because I don't want all the stores flooding my inbox.
Yep.
But the separate email is because why? You can actually cancel that email or change it if it's affected.
Yeah, and then Gmail, you can set up a bunch of different emails as an example. Set up a Gmail account, have all of your purchases or the receipts for the purchases go to that, and then it's just easier to track. You
Yeah.
have all the receipts there. You can even set up folders within the email, so that's another thing that we recommend.
And you say get items delivered to work as opposed to your home.
Yeah, only because of the whole point
So
if somebody sees the package
on
out in
the
front of
front
your
step,
door, they
right.
might take it.
Are
And
we
it-
ever protected by our credit card or anything like that if a package is stolen, like, you know?
Yeah, and not only that, but a lot of times, a lot of the retailers, especially Amazon, will replace it for that. But the credit cards, our credit card would protect for that. You just need to let us know. But I want to make sure I highlight something before we go, and that is always make sure your personal information is up to date with the financial institution. And if we call because there's a transaction that we don't recognize, we will not ask you for your social security number, your date of birth. We'll just ask you for the transaction because we already have all that.
Okay.
Right. So, and that's important to know that a lot of times if you're getting a phone call and they're promising that they're the IRS or they're Experian or Equifax, any of that stuff, they shouldn't be asking you for, no one should ask for your social security number on the phone. Just
No.
never, ever, ever give it away.
And the IRS will always send you everything by certified mail.
And
Yeah.
I remember getting that letter.
But no, I had gotten a call and it sounded so legitimate that they're from the IRS and they need more information. I had to like really think for a minute. I'm like, no, you don't.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. It's very, you have to be very, very careful of that. But we do need to have that information so that we always have it up to date, so we can make sure we call you or send something to you in the mail if we need to.
All right, thank you, John. For more information, visit nutmegstatefcu.org or visit one of the 10 branch locations.